These are those phases. I hope if there is any question, I hope it's clear. Now coming to the actual coding, we want to display something onto the computer screen. Up from this point onwards, we are actually discussing the programming content in detail. So we want to display something, we want to get input of something from the user. It comes under I/O. What is I/O? Input, output. So first of all, we are discussing how to take input from the user using the keyword cin. This is the part of syntax. We write the keyword cin with some special purpose symbol or the operator, and we get input from the user, normally from the keyboard. So it's standard input stream. And cout, whatever thing which we write and we want to make it to be displayed onto the computer screen.
So is starting C negative?
Cin?
Is it negative?
Yes. If you want to have something from the user. We are not making actual program, we are just discussing what can be used in the actual program. We are getting the prerequisite knowledge for making a complete program. आगे चल के after few slides हमारा complete program show होगा, and within that program we will be using cout scene. Cout because we want to display something on the computer screen. Cin because we want to prompt the user to input something. For example, input the value of A.
User से number ले.
User will enter 7 and then press the enter key. So this 7 will be assigned to this memory location. And cout is something if you want anything to be displayed. For example, name of this course, your own name, degree name, number to be displayed on. We use cout keyword. Normally, it's connected with the computer screen. Talking about cout first. If you have written cout in your program and you have used multiple couts, after writing your program, you have closed your program, and by next week you open your program again. You might be thinking, what is this all about, isn't it? It might be the scenario. In order to enhance the readability of your own program, for your own sake and for the others as well, you can comment it. Comment is something which doesn't comes under the rules and regulation of the compiler, under the jurisdiction of the compiler. You just write double quotes and here starts your own area. Just write it. I have used cout for displaying. So now you will open this program, you can definitely make sense out of it, isn't it?
Yes,
So
sir.
these are the comments. Document the program, enhances the readability, as you can see over here. Begins with the /. Preprocessor directives begin with hash. So with bits and pieces, we are gaining the prereq knowledge to make a complete program. We have seen how to include a file. We have seen how to write cout. Now cout again has some extensive programming done at the back end. We are programming in already programmed environment. You should always remember this. It is already programmed. So we have a documented program available for cout, which takes our written statement to the computer screen. So cout का भी backend में पूरा code होगा, and that code is available in IO stream file. We have to make that file actually part of our program. Necessarily, IO stream should be part of our program. IO stream, input output stream, because we are discussing IO. इस हेड फाइल में, इस फाइल में cout scene की पूरी प्रोग्रामिंग हुई है. So if you are not making that file part of your program, it will definitely generate errors. Because over here we are just using the keywords. Again, keywords are defined somewhere, some namespace is there, which is because this is our first lecture, just to easily make you guys understand. A namespace is there from where we take the keywords. See out, seen, return. There are other keywords as well, which are defined somewhere, and we call that space as namespace. So in order to use some keywords from that particular namespace, we also reference that by writing another statement using namespace std semicolon. This actually means using standard namespace. Let's say you can say where we are taking the keywords. See out, seen, handle, other keywords which we will be using. Whatever I am writing over here is part of syntax. You have to write it on the editor as it is. Include current file, namespace std, see out, document. So far we have discussed these things, isn't it? Include standard namespace, ये से see out की प्रोग्रामिंग कहाँ हुई है और इसमें
two lines gap after namespace.
after namespace gap is immaterial for the compiler, even if you are giving 10 lines gap or you are not even giving any gap. For compiler it's irrespective of it. It's your own for enhancement of your own readability. We do indentation and give gaps. Compiler will execute both. Now comes next part. Now cout cannot be used just by writing the keyword cout. It shall be accompanied by a special operator called stream insertion operator, which will take our written words to the screen. Here is the operator. This is called stream insertion. So after cout, we have to write less than less than. Then within quotes, I am writing fundamentals of program. Double quotes close, semicolon. Again, if you want to write any comment, कि आप डिस्प्ले करना चाह रहे हैं fundamentals of programming onto the computer screen. So this is the actual code. You have to follow this. Cout, find over here. Also using namespace, standard namespace. This is what we are going to write. We want this to be displayed onto the computer screen, and we have given the comment as well. Now how it will be displayed into the computer screen? You want to write another cout, 45 ME. कैसे डिस्प्ले होगा? Ideally, don't you want to display it over here? मगर डिस्प्ले ऐसे हो, इसको ठीक कर दो, बैक / एंड डालना, ये डिस्प्ले नहीं होगा कंप्यूटर स्क्रीन, मगर आपकी जो आउटपुट है अब वो न्यू लाइन पर आ जाएगी इसके यहाँ, the way you want. These are called escape characters, escape sequence. स्पेस देने के लिए भी /t भी यूज होता है,
के अंदर ही होगा
डबल कोट्स के अंदर /n, which means इसके बाद न्यू लाइन का आउटपुट है, नेक्स्ट आउटपुट ये आप दिया। इसमें कई एग्जांपल्स हमारी आ रही होंगे।
सर ये आपने सेकंड लाइन पे डाउट लिखा है, अगर हम वो 45 ME साथ ही उसके लिखे /n तो स्टिल वो नीचे आएगा,
नहीं आएगी, कंटिन्यू विदाउट सिलेक्शन। इसको भी आपको मैं दिखाता हूँ, सारी एग्जांपल्स आ रही हैं। ये चीज़ और here we have to discuss escape character, so that's why I have quoted that example.
सेम क्वेश्चन, अगर हम FOP/L के बाद ही 45 ME लिखते हैं
तो मैं आपको फैक्टोरिकली इसका आंसर देता हूँ। थोड़ा सा आगे जाते हैं फिर। बाकी सब चीज़ें छोड़ दें, लाइन नंबर 8 और 9 देखें। 2 लाइन्स हैं, स्प्लिट कर दिया, वेलकम टू C++। Just to answer the question, but it is producing one line of output. Just have a look at over here. See out. ये देख. क्या होगा? हर स्लैश एन के बाद ये देखिए. अगर आप एक चीज मैं आपको बता दूं, सी आउट के साथ अगर आप ऊपर नेम स्पेस एसटीडी नहीं लिखेंगे तो हर सी आउट के साथ आपको ये काम करना पड़ेगा. You have to write STD double colon C. So it is better to just write using standard namespace at the top and forget about writing this. और इसमें इसका आउटपुट को ज़रा डायसेक्ट कर लें. वेलकम स्पेस टू डबल स्पेस C++ स्पेस. वो जो आखिरी न्यू लाइन है, स्पेस नहीं, न्यू लाइन. वेलकम न्यू लाइन टू then double couple of new lines and then C++ and in the end it is immaterial. वो normally programmers दे देते हैं next output there वो new line से start. Again practice. Your compiler is the answer to your query, any query of this nature, isn't it?
Yes sir.
आप सेमीकोलन की जगह कॉलन डाल दें, एरर आ गई, चलेगा ही नहीं. हिट एंड ट्रायल करें, डिफरेंट कॉम्बिनेशन यूज करें. Comments are totally dependent upon the user. They just enhance readability. Compiler has nothing to do with comments. ठीक है? अब स्टेप वाइज चलते हैं वापस सब, क्योंकि ये क्वेश्चन आ गया था. सी आउट सी इन प्री प्रोसेसर डायरेक्टिव्स connected to the screen. Yes. अच्छा, now I have deliberately written iostream.h. Compiler में iostream से चलेगा, just to indicate something varies from compiler version to version as well. At times तो यहाँ पे स्विच स्टार्ट होते कि एरर दे रहा है, मे बी आपने हेडर फाइल की एक्सटेंशन में लिखी. What is the extension of a file? .h means header. .cpp आपके कोड की फाइल की एक्सटेंशन. .doc .ppt different, every file has its own extension. .bmp .jpg. इसमें अब हम सारी चीजें डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, isn't it? Except for line number 6, 7, 10 and 12, isn't it?
Yes.
अब हम यहाँ पर ये बताते हैं कि हम we have discussed this of course. Every program which we write in C++, we always write in something called main. Main is the boss. Every programming is done in a function called main. Every C++ program has at least one function, and that is main. एक function जरूर होगा. अब what do we mean by function? A name with a pair of braces. फंक्शन है, पावर फंक्शन हमने पढ़ा. PW उसका नाम, उसके इनपुट. So in C++, anything with a name and a pair of braces is a function. So main is a function. Every function returns something. उसको हम किस तरह समझें? Real world example. I have quoted, everything is derived from the real world. Boss to worker analogy. In a company, a boss called a worker, hands him over some files as an input. Worker processes those files and reports back to the boss. Boss, the main, calls the worker, power, gives some input to the worker function. Worker processes these input, reports back the result. 2 to the power 3 is 8. Reports back to the main. ये है पूरी होगी. अब ये जो उसने रिपोर्ट बैक किया 8, इसकी डाटा टाइप क्या है? 2 to the power 3 पावर फंक्शन ने एक वैल्यू रिटर्न की है 8. 8 क्या है? कैरेक्टर है? इंटीजर है? इंटीजर. इट्स एन इंटीजर. Its data type is integer. Integer वो डाटा टाइप जो है हम यहाँ लिखते हैं, जो उस फंक्शन की रिटर्न होती है। क्योंकि ये टॉपिक एक्चुअली समझ आता है स्टूडेंट्स को, जाके हम फंक्शन डिस्कस करते हैं, वो आता है मिड्स के पास। बट एट दिस पॉइंट इन टाइम क्योंकि हम सारा प्रोग्रामिंग मेन में कर रहे हैं, तो थोड़ा सा इसको भी डायसेक्ट कर लेते हैं। ये फंक्शन का नेम होता है, यहाँ पर नॉर्मली इनपुट देते हैं, जो कि मेन में आप कुछ नहीं देंगे इनपुट में। ये रिटर्न टाइप होती है, ये फंक्शन रिटर्न क्या कर रहा है, उसकी डाटा टाइप क्या है, इंट। क्योंकि अभी हमने डाटा टाइप्स को देख रहे हैं, इंट, कैरेक्टर, ये मैंने शुरू में कहा प्लस थी। अब हमने कहा कि अब हमने सोचा वी वांट टू ऐड 2 numbers, so I need 3 variables of type int, variable a, variable b and variable sum, isn't it? So we have to plan our approach in advance. अभी तो हम बेसिक कर रहे हैं, तो अभी नेक्स्ट स्टेप हमारा होगा फ्लो ग्राफ्स, फ्लो चार्ट्स, उस पर थोड़ा हम डिजाइनिंग कर रहे हैं। क्योंकि कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रॉब्लम्स में अगर आपका फ्लो ग्राफ नहीं बना होगा और आप डायरेक्ट कोडिंग स्टार्ट कर देंगे एल्गोरिथम लिखे बगैर, उसकी पिक्टोरिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन किए बगैर, तो इट विल बी लीड इन अ मेस। फ्लो चार्ट विल एक्चुअली गाइड यू फ्रॉम वेयर यू हैव टू जंप, फ्रॉम वेयर यू हैव टू कम बैक, and rest is just the coding. So basically these are the data types, and integer, int, main, this is part of syntax, starting curly brace to start the main function body, corresponding curly brace to end the main function body, as you can see in the comments. Return 0 we have to write, because this function main is returning nothing. The return is again a keyword, 0, it is returning nothing. It's also used to terminate the whole program. ये 0 किससे correspond कर रहा है? It is returning nothing. ये आप इस प्रोग्राम में आए, C++ डिस्प्ले हुआ और प्रोग्राम खत्म हुआ। This is what is all about. One way of writing main function is this. Another way could be void main bracket start bracket close. Don't need to write return 0. सिर्फ उसकी रिटर्न टाइप होगा, int की जगह क्या लिख देंगे, means it is returning nothing, just to make it simple. So this is also correct and this is also true to implement.
Zero तो क्या मतलब? Return 0.
It is one of the several ways to exit a function, to terminate a function. जिस तरह अभी मैंने बताया, it is returning nothing, returning 0.
अगर return 1 लिखें,
रिटर्न कोई भी इंटीजर आप उसमें रिटर्न तब ये एग्जिट हो जाएगा। आइडियली हम उसको 0 लिखते हैं कि वो टर्मिनेट हो जाए, ठीक है। कमेंट्स पढ़ें, आपको बिल्कुल ये चीज़ भी क्लियर हो जाएगी। और इसकी भी सिंगल लाइन कमेंट, प्री प्रोसेसर डायरेक्टिव टू इंक्लूड IOStream header file, IOStream function main appears exactly once in every C++ program. Function main returns an integer value. Left brace to begin the function body, corresponding right brace to end the function body. Statement ends with a semicolon. Anything ending with a semicolon is a statement. C out, C in, A plus B, semicolon. C equals to A plus B, semicolon. लेकिन हाई लेवल लैंग्वेज हमें अलाउ करती है. There is nothing like load A, load B, isn't it? You can just write C equals to A plus B, semicolon. अभी अगर हम आगे चल के कैलकुलेटर वाला प्रोग्राम में हम ये डिस्कस करेंगे. Name C out belongs to standard namespace. Stream insertion operator. सारी बातें हमने की, isn't it? Keyword return is one of the several means to exit a function. Value 0 indicates program terminated successfully. What is the other way to exit a function? Any question, query so far? We have just gone through our first program. जी. यही आउटपुट आएगा, प्रोग्राम चलेगा, वेलकम टू C++, ये आउटपुट नीचे लिखो, बस वो एग्जिट हो जाएगा. प्रोग्राम, इट इज वन वे ऑफ टू टर्मिनेट अ प्रोग्राम. प्रोग्राम को एंड करने के लिए हमें लिखना पड़ता है. वॉइड का मतलब भी ये है कि कुछ भी रिटर्न नहीं हुआ, रिटर्न टाइप ही नहीं. ठीक है जी. इसको ही आगे अगर चले हम लेके, ये अभी हमने देखा कि टू सेपरेट लाइंस. वेलकम सी आउट टू C++ प्रोड्यूसिंग सिंगल लाइन ऑफ आउटपुट. नेक्स्ट देखते हैं. मल्टीपल स्ट्रीम इंसर्शन स्टेटमेंट प्रोड्यूस वन लाइन ऑफ आउटपुट. One statement producing multiple lines of output. The vice versa of the previous example. \n. So using new line character to print on multiple lines. So we were discussing data types. Just another slide to elaborate the modalities of data type and a variable. Variable is location in the memory where value can be stored. Before we move on to more programming, we should know what is a variable. A location in the memory, A, to store some value. 7. Integer character doubles. If you want to save 7.1, then you should use float instead of int. You can use double instead of integer. And for a character we have separate. Now to have two numbers to be added and their sum to be saved in an accumulator named sum. You can see we have changed the naming convention. Instead of writing A, B, first of all, this is how we declare. We let the compiler know. We sign the contract with the compiler that I am going to create a variable whose title is A, whose data type is integer. Instead of writing integer A, int space A with a semicolon, instead of A, I have given a more meaningful name, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So this is how we should do it. Integer 1, integer 2, and instead of C, a more meaningful name, sum. So this is how three variables can be declared. We can do it in one go as well using a comma separated list. The integer type, integer 1, comma, integer 2, comma, sum, semicolon. You can declare n number of variables using by following this pattern.
Floating point number and floating point.
Floating point numbers are the one which have a decimal. If you want to save such numbers, you should be using float or double data type. If you are using integer type and you are saving 7.1, so it would तो वो 7.0 ट्रीट होगा, ट्रंकेट हो जाएगा, ये रूल्स में आएगा. खा देता हूँ आपको. सेवन डिवाइडेड बाई 5, लेट्स से अगर हम उसको करें तो इट्स एवेल्यूएट्स टू, आंसर बताएं, 1 पॉइंट. द रिमाइंडर गेट्स ट्रंकेटेड. इंटीजर डिवीजन है, आपने फ्लोट डिक्लेयर नहीं किया, एक इंटीजर को इंटीजर के साथ डिवाइड आप कर रहे हैं और आपका आंसर फ्लोटिंग पॉइंट में आ रहा है, तो इट इज ओनली एवेल्यूएट्स टू 1. So this is the concept of variables and data types जो अभी हमने डिस्कस किया. So just the last slide for today's lecture. The variable name should be a valid identifier. Means ये naming convention A B C D की बजाय instead of A B C D integer 1, integer 2, sum, answer, subtraction, accumulator, this type of name. Series of characters that is digit and what is allowed cannot begin with a digit, and of course they are case sensitive when we are referring to the names of variables. Any queries, any questions so far? Clear? तो आपको आप जब प्रैक्टिस करेंगे इसकी लैब सेशन में और at your homes, so definitely things will get more clear. Attendance